Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to Autumn's Journey. When we last left off, our little knight friend got in a bit of a pickle because she went to go, become a knight, but then they were like, oh, you have to study under college-related stuff. You can't just do it via your mom, who's a great knight, by the way, and I'm a big fan, but you're pretty much SOL, you're out of here. And she was all upset, her dreams have been dashed, but then this one knight who was like, I don't care for the rules, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a test and see if I can get you apprenticed, etc., and see if we can make you a knight, because you have potential. And so now we're off to find the next dragon shrine for our buddy Care here with his silly rock ears. And right now, we're in a cave with droplets of water echoing in the puddles as we walk carefully through the cavern, Care leading the way happily. So let's see where this goes, folks. You sure? It looks like the last one we were in. Are you kidding? There's more tunnels, its sediments are mostly limestone, and the roof is higher. So, he knows his structure of the caves, apparently.
Of course.
Leave it to an earth dragon to know his surroundings. True. I like underwater caves. They make great layers. Good for you, buddy. The numerous branching tunnels made me nervous, but my companions seemed unfazed by it all. Maybe they have, radar. They have Shrindar. I don't get it. It's like you know where you're going. Dragon intuition. Dragonition, as it were. Care groaned, and Ilmari shot me a penitent look. We actually came here earlier thanks to a Heavenkind's help. Oh, so you cheated. Thanks. So much for that promise to not wander off.
I'm sorry.
I know, but Care was determined, and I didn't want to let him out of my sight. However, Master Bedros wishes for him to be accompanied by a Heavenkind at each altar to prove he's not going straight from one cave to the other. That makes sense. And not just any Heavenkind, but one that has been there with him the whole time. So he can't just grab some random citizen off the street and be like, there, I brought someone. Give me back my dragon abilities. Wouldn't your word be good enough, Ilmari? You're overseeing the whole thing. No. I guess they probably suspect Care would beat him up and make him lie, so... Sounds like you have no influence here. Something like that. And again, I'm sure they expect Care to beat you up and force you to lie. I arched an eyebrow dubiously, but before I could question further, Care announced we had arrived. There was a small carved statue of an earth dragon set on a block. Care gestured accusingly at it before turning to me. Do they even try to make impressive ones? Think we would be pleased with this? A life-size one would be more worthy. Maybe they just were doing with what they could do. Believe it or not, not everybody has the time to just sit there and carve out a life-size dragon statue. And not get paid for it. Go humbly beg for his forgiveness. I gave him a gentle shove and stuck out my tongue. He glared, but his usual intensity had diminished somewhat. I planned to remain where I was, but I saw Ilmari retreat to give Care some space. Not staying?
I'd rather not.
No, I don't want to feel like I'm eavesdropping on a private conversation. I reflected back on the argument at the first altar. It doesn't seem that personal to me, and you can only hear Care speak. That did not convince Ilmari, and he walked back until he vanished around the bend. Maybe he can hear the conversation too, who knows. Maybe Ilmari had a point? As I turned,
Whoa.
Hey, where are you going? To give you some privacy? Did you forget already? You have to stay. You're Heavenkind. Right. I'll just sit here and watch you argue with yourself. It'll be fun. I shifted my weight until I felt comfortable, and I watched Care kneel down, then close his eyes to focus. Moments later, his ears perked up. Yeah, she's here now. So picky. Yes, we left, Barry, and helped something called a carriage get to Oliver. We were attacked. Heavenkind fists are pretty useful. Yeah, that was another thing. We ended up, helping some merchant, and there was something in the box that Ilmari was upset about, so I covered my mouth as I smirked at the comment. From there, Care chronicled the sights and sounds of the plaza, especially the apples. Heavenkind like to pretend to do things they actually can't do for the sake of people clapping. They're driven to perform odd things, like eating fire. Is that even edible? Well, maybe for a dragon it could be, I don't know. Particularly a fire dragon, but... He also mentioned the presence of other dragonkind. He concluded this account, and after a few minutes, stood up. He placed one hand on his hip and he stared at the statue deep in thought. When I was sure the conversation was over, I approached him and leaned in. Is that everything? Yeah. Did he say how many altars to visit afterward? Thankfully, there's only a few left, and there's many around Oliver. So I leave it in your hands to get some interesting night quests.
Let's do this.
You can count on me! And I think I still owe you a visit to the marketplace. We can restock on supplies. I can get you some more apples. We rejoined Ilmari and returned to the bustling market of Central Oliver. What I thought would only take the morning ended up going straight to mid-afternoon, given how much we explored all the various shops and stalls. At the end, I was pretty much haggard. I slumped down on the bench between my companions, blankly gazing at the sky. It's so blue. It's like babysitting kids. Overgrown kids. Yeah, pretty much. Except these ones could probably kill you if you're not careful. Ilmari happily clutched a small glass-blown bubble, making a kitty face. Aw, kitty face. He held it up, and its transparent blue surface shimmered like waves in the sunlight. That sounds really pretty.
Wow.
I still can't believe you bought me this. I've never had anything Heavenkind made before. How could I not? You were making that face. What, the kitty face? This one? Nope, the puppy dog face. Okay, that I could understand. His expression changed, assuming the epitome of sweetness and innocence that had crumbled my defenses before. Yes, that one. Maybe he wasn't so sweet and innocent if he was using that face to his advantage. Care nonchalantly stuffed his face with various desserts and pastries. I placed a hand over my forehead before sliding it down my chin in aggravation. I said eat a few, not all of them. You're gonna be up all night now, especially if there was chocolate in one of those. Also, you didn't save any for me, you bastard. At least we found something he likes. Yeah, he's got a sweet tooth, apparently. I'd prefer if it was just something that wouldn't give him a sugar rush. I mean, maybe we'll be lucky and he'll just be incredibly happy and giddy all day. That's how my brother was when he was younger, and he had sweets, particularly ice cream. Care pursed his lips, but said nothing, since he was still chewing. Now that we were all settled, I stood up and stretched, Argent Valere on my mind. I'm going to check the guild and see if there's any postings I can accept for tomorrow. Get something to do with fighting. Yeah, I want to use these fists to my advantage again. I'd prefer if it was a more peaceful one. I'll see what I can do. I doubt I can find one that'll please you both. I gave them a quick wave, intending not to take long as I headed for the guild. Inside the headquarters, I surveyed the giant board, hoping to find something that would catch my eye. Which one? Ooh, which mission I get to pick? Let's see, we got a battle tournament. Are you the greatest warrior in the guild? Try and find out. Reward? Bragging rights. Well, that would be something Care would like. Let's see. Avateral feathers. I play the lead for a ballet, and I simply must have some feathers to adorn my black swan costume. Reward? 150 coins. That one would be something Ilmari would be interested in. Honey glazed apple tarts. Need 10 jars of honey from the ren'py hives for a new recipe I've been developing. Reward? Free samples. Care would probably like that one, just because he loves the apple tarts. Go fishing. Sapphire salmon are in season. However, my back is sore and I'm unable to fish. Can you catch 3 for me? Reward 15 coins, or 75 coins. That would be more Ilmari's thing as well. Save the chickens! My chickens have been disappearing lately. Please find out who was responsible. Reward: a week's supply of eggs. Intense rescue mission. I need to find this important person now. Reward 10 coins. Gather 5 nightshades. I need these completely harmless herbs for something not sinister. Yeah, that doesn't sound, devious in the slightest. How about the apple tart one? Because at the very least, it's something nice that Imari would like, something peaceful. And it has apple tarts, which would be something Care would like. So, go with that one. As soon as I read the post out loud, Care wouldn't have it any other way. Getting the honey from the aggressive bees was impossible until I mentioned that bees didn't like smoke and that it would drive them away. Imari thought conjuring fog would produce a similar result, but Care found it didn't at all. Yeah, his face is kind of all swollen in that picture, isn't it? Luckily, the baker felt so guilty or scared that he doubled the reward for Care. Imari and I secretly wanted to nibble on the tarts, but decided not to after all. Despite stinks, Care was satisfied and claimed it was the best thing he ever tasted. Okay, so it looks like I just go with these itty-bitty one at a time. Okay, so in that case, we'll do the go fishing one next. I never had the patience for fishing, and the task nearly took us all day. While Imari watched the bait, Care thought it'd be hilarious to push him into the river. I see that little sneak over there. We learned that Imari couldn't swim in his heavenkind form, and Care learned how far Imari's neck could extend from shore in dragon form. Imari decided it was faster if he just found the fish on his own. I had to shout at him not to bother the boats, though. He seemed to enjoy this mission a lot. Okay, so the next one. I guess the intense rescue mission, we'll do that one. Orly immediately jumped on this one. I think it was a crucial quest. Okay, suddenly we're talking about another character here. She was disappointed when it turned out to be a child missing a cat, but was determined to help no matter how big or small the task. We looked all over and found the cat stuck in a tree, which Care easily retrieved. Why is he shirtless, though? Just as I was about to assume he was secretly an animal lover at heart, it scratched him and he returned it to the tree. Orly ended up saving the cat since Care refused to go near it again. You are not Inuyasha, who has a massive love of kitty cats. The child was happy to get his pet back. I find having kind attachment to their pets rather fascinating. Okay. So next we'll do the chickens. The mission was a rather simple and boring one. All we had to do was mend some holes in the fence that the farmer overlooked. Imari was captivated by the chickens, though. He wouldn't stop following them and pestered the tiny yellow things even more. Stop harassing the chicks, dude! Aura warned him repeatedly, and Imari learned that if one annoyed the chickens long enough, they would gang up on you. I should direct you then to a little fellow named Link. You harass the chickens, you're gonna die. It was nice to see his curiosity get him into trouble. Heavenkind sure keep a lot of animals for food and clothing products. Aura accidentally mentioned a sport called cow tipping, and I immediately tried it out. Oh dear. We didn't get our egg reward after that. I would say not. Okay, so let's try the feathers again this time. Oh dear God, what are you doing to that chicken, Care? Since Imari banned any quests involving fighting other heavenkind, we decided to focus on wildfire. After that rather embarrassing encounter with an antivero back when I couldn't even walk, I decided to get my revenge. It was so bizarre fighting an animal that could usually be crushed under my claws and not immediately eating it either. Punching it out in mid-air was oddly satisfying though, and even Aura and Imari could only stand around and gawk. Or shake their heads. I don't get the appeal of decorating yourself in feathers though. Heavenkind culture makes no sense. I would say so, yes. Once again, I scanned the bulletin board, sighing longly as I gazed at the job postings that only accepted true knights. I rubbed my badge clearly labeled Knight in Training, wishing it was the official one. Well, can't dwell on it now. I need to do a number of missions before they consider me. In the corner of the guild was a group of knights talking quietly amongst themselves. One of them looked at me before he averted his eyes. The girl beside him giggled. Care, who stood beside me, glared daggers at the group, gritting his teeth menacingly. What are you doing? Stop that! No, bad dragon, sit down! You don't get any more apple tarts if you act that way. He balked and averted his gaze, but said nothing. His ears twitched. Actually, there's another thing I just noticed. He called her Aura in the little cutscenes there. Is he actually warming up to her that he's giving her a nickname?
Stay focused.
What she said. Ah, there's a patrol one. Are you up for a nice long walk outside city? I guess. Or I could ask Gilmari. However, I think he wants to observe the glass blowers again.
Leave it to me.
I'll go.
Thanks.
Thank you. I handed the job posting to the receptionist, who detailed the route and gave me a small map. It's more of a training exercise than a real patrol, but it's something at least. I rejoined Karen. We exited the bustling city of Oliver, entering the long, sprawling farmland that extended beyond it. There was a well-worn path, so the map was hardly needed. Karen and I walked side by side, taking in the scenery. Almost all the leaves were now a vivid fire of yellow, red, and orange, you know, like autumn. Hence the title of the game. I can't believe it was summer when we left Barry. So much has happened, don't you think? When we first met, you barely talked to me. I'm glad it's different now, except for this brief conversation we seem to be having. Sort of. Or not. I took a wide step forward and turned around, causing him to halt. I stared at him dubiously. What is it? You sulk a lot, but now you're sulking while deep in thought. That's not like you. Out with it. What's on your mind? How do you handle it? Handle what? What people have been saying about you? Well, I don't hear it directly a lot. You have better hearing than I do. They say you've used your mother's name to get where you are, that you're nothing like her, and that you'll never live up to... Thank you, Care. I really needed to be reminded. Yeah, that's what I expected, you know. Ignore the fact that she has worked hard for all this. No, because her mother was a famous knight. That automatically means that she's just using the name to her advantage. Granted, there are people who do that, but not orally. What made you want to walk the same path she did anyway? Why do you want to become a knight so badly? Finally, the question both boys had avoided asking me directly. I inhaled deeply as I prepared my meaningful and profound answer. It's not going to be something stupid like, because I think girls can do the same thing as boys can, because they can't to an extent, but it's like, don't start with that. Well, you see. Knights are so cool, and they have swords and shiny armor and stuff, and everyone looks up to them. Oh, okay, so she's just giving a goofy answer. They always do the honorable thing, right wrongs and stop evil in its tracks, and they help people with their problems. You can help people without killing, just saying. They fought off all kinds of monsters, slay dragons, and you should... Wait, what? And rescue fair maidens and lads in distresses who... about that last part where fall in love with the knights, and the knights sign go, I'm sorry, but my heart belongs to the path of justice and righteousness. Can we just, oh, Lady Knight, they cry. They then take my rose as symbol of, I get it. See. I practically bounced on my heels, gazing up at Care elatedly. That's why I want to be one so bad. Aren't you doing most of that already, well, besides slaying dragons and leaving behind a trail of broken hearts? I guess so, but I want the title too. I want it to be official, recognized by the Sun and Moon Council. What about you? Aren't there any dreams you're chasing? You seem like the free-spirited type. That's because I am. Oh, I don't know, I think he's pretty grounded since he's an earth dragon and all. He stretched his arms up, then sat back on the grass. At first I was going to chide him for taking a break during a patrol, but I decided a few minutes of rest was acceptable. I sat next to him. I'm not up for this knowledge keeper business. I hate it, but my master insists. Knowledge keeper? Really? You spent all this time with us and you still know nothing about dragonkind? Hey, you never tell me stuff, and Amari, well, you know Ilmar, right? He's more fascinated with shiny things. Always goes back to heavenkind talk, exactly. Dragons have a long history, and we record everything orally. Everything we know is passed down to a dragon called a knowledge keeper, who will specialize in something. Could be plants, animals, traditional stories, important events. He sighed defeat and propped up an elbow, nestling his chin in his palm. It's boring. Tucking my knees up, I hugged them and leaned in to get a good look at his face. He peered back at me impassively. I don't have the concentration to focus to retain all that knowledge. When I was younger, they thought I'd be good at it, and my master picked me. Obviously not, though. I find it easier to stop caring at this point. If I don't care, they don't care. Doesn't seem to work on Master Bedros, though. Wonder what he even sees in me at this point. How do you do it with all those expectations placed on you? Me? Not sure either. This is the first time I've considered my mom's name a burden more than a help. I guess I just accept it. I know I won't ever live up to her legacy, and people perceive that. I can't force someone to see me only for me. However, I have support from my family, the people in Barry, and of course, you guys. They love me for who I am, and they're the ones that matter. So, Care, how do you view me? As Orly, or a pale imitation of Lady Bayard? Why are you asking me? I don't know enough about your mom's legacy to compare you to. You're doing fine. I think you're a good knight in your own right. Hey, he's actually complimenting us. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Knight in training, but thanks. You'll never end up slaying a dragon, though. Oh, so often you annoy me, I could cross that off my knight accomplishments list pretty easily. Please, even in this form, I can take you on. I just have to bribe you with food and you're good. Is that a challenge? He stood up and bared his teeth, widening his stance.
Bring it.
I sighed, wondering if this was a good idea, but I also got up. I wiped the grass off my skirt and touched my sword hilt. Oh, what's this? Relying on a weapon? I'm unarmed. This is hardly fair. You know I'm not good with hand-to-hand combat. His taunting smirk, though, caused me to toss my scabbard aside impetuously. Oh boy. This is a stupid idea, but sure. I bent my knees and clenched my fists, wondering how to start the fight. So, do we count to 3, or do we just wait for I guess that's no counting rule. Before I could finish my sentence, Kier rammed into me, tackling me to the ground. This is probably the start of some scene that's probably not even meant to be fighting, but sure. The wind was knocked out of me as he pinned my shoulders. I glowered at him. I win. Hey, I wasn't done talking. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, trying to concentrate. What are you doing? I opened one eye. Something I should have done before. Feeling my strength increase, I effortlessly pushed him off. He gawked in surprise. I rolled over him, so I now straddled him with his arms held down. I smirked victoriously.
I did it!
Too easy. Ugh! Another tussle and he loomed over me again, his long hair grazing my cheek. Is this gonna result in some kind of makeout session soon at this point?
Bring it.
If I was in my true form, you would have been crushed under my foot. Bah! I wrestled him, slamming him down so I was on top again. Even in your dragon form, if I had my sword, I would have skewered you a dozen times. Please, it didn't feel like splinters. Hey, splinters hurt a lot. Have you ever got— Whoa! We rotated again, and this time he pinned my wrists. Unable to wiggle out of his grip, I sighed and rested my hand on the grass as my little focus spell faded. If Kara's body was that of a normal heaven kind, I would have stood a better chance. You win, only because I wasn't allowed my sword. Right, whatever makes you sleep soundly at night. His grasp on me loosened, but he did not budge. Instead, his eyes examined me intensely before lingering over my neck. He inched closer, and I panicked, shaking my head frantically. Wait, don't take a bite out of me. I already said you won. I struggled and he hastily let go, rolling off me. I don't think he was going in for a bite. Unless it was a love bite. Am I right, girls and boys? That was invading some serious personal space there. What did my mom tell me to do when men got that close to me? I don't know. Wait, I didn't have my sword on me, so her advice wouldn't have been useful. Her advice would have been useless, I should say. Same thing. Oh, he's blushing! Look, he's blushing! He likes her now. To an extent. Obviously, there's a bit of rough and tumble there. I rubbed my neck self-consciously as I sat up, while Care angled his body away. After retrieving my scabbard, I noticed that Care paced around impatiently. I agree, we've rested enough. Let's finish this patrol and go home. Care? Yeah, sure. He rubbed his forehead as if contemplating something. I didn't comment since I knew he would insist it was nothing and refuse to answer. Instead, I gave him a friendly slap to the shoulder to help him focus on the task ahead.
Right.
Then let's go. Hey, at least she didn't slap me on the butt. Then I would have questioned it. You could tell your master that heaven-kind like long, pointless walks afterwards. He mustered a weak smile, but said nothing. We finished the patrol, and I reported to the receptionist. Care remained taciturn the whole time, and barely said a word when we parted. I wonder if it was something I said, or maybe he finds patrols utterly boring. Or maybe because you refused his advances. Or he's trying to figure out his advances. Either or. We're already on chapter 7? Man, we get around, don't we? The bonds we share. Ooh. So, I guess now on to the next chapter. This is a good place to stop, so I guess we'll see where this little relationship is gonna go next. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.